So basically, I was a vegan for pretty much 6 months. And the reason I actually started a vegan diet was because I had a skin disease called eczema, or my whole body was actually covered in eczema. And so I was eating the standard American diet, just eating a bunch of foods. And I didn't realize that my digestion health was actually correlated with my overall health and my skin health. And I saw that there was this one YouTuber, maybe he actually has an ex-vegan interview on your channel called Rob Stewart, and he was a vegan for like 7, 8 years. So I was like, okay, there's obviously something to this vegan diet that can heal your body. That's what I thought at the time. I was like, okay, so this diet will help my skin. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. Because why would I not try something? It's just like I would literally do anything at that point because it was a very debilitating problem, like being covered in rashes like that. Like I look fine now, obviously, because I'm eating pretty much a carnivore diet, but I was covered in rashes. I had social anxiety, couldn't sleep properly at night. I think you mentioned one day in one of your videos you had something like that. Not that bad, but you had like skin issues or whatever before you went raw carnivore. I had social anxiety because I had to worry about how I'm perceived in public, having fucking like rashes on my arms and shit, and like fucking random acne, and it was really couldn't even take showers properly, and so my health was completely screwed. And I even contemplated at some point, it's like, oh, maybe it's not the diet, but I was like, okay, let's try the vegan diet. So I went vegan, and I started to eat pretty much completely vegan. I didn't even do any of the health. Some people say like, oh, you can be a vegan eating vegan junk food. I was like, no, I was completely vegan. I tried to eat the whole foods. Like they say the healthiest way to do is on Dr. Berg's website or whatever. And then so I started to eat whole foods. I was eating like rice, quinoa, lentils, chickpeas, avocados. I started off with like the low fat, like the high carb, low fat, but then I increased the fats at some point too. So I was eating a ton of calories, like it was not like I was losing any calories or anything like that. Some people might be thinking, oh, maybe it was a calorie issue, and I just want to get that out of the way because it was not a matter of calories. I was eating a lot of calories. And so that's pretty much why I started veganism. I just wanted to fix my health. And the diet did help to an extent. You see what I'm saying? Because so it did help a little bit. My skin got a little bit better. So that's why I was more attached to the vegan ideology, because there's tons of propaganda on YouTube and all this research to show that the diet is healthier for you. And my body did get a little bit better. So that's when I started to develop this ideology in this one-way paradigm around like, okay, the vegan diet clearly is the diet. I started to develop an ego around it. I was like, okay, I'm superior. Everybody else also needs to stop eating meat. All these people are delusional. And I started to really attach to this belief. You see what I'm saying? It's like you really start to develop an ego when you become a vegan, which is pretty ironic because they think that they don't have an ego when they have the biggest egos. And I'm generalizing, right? Of course, there's probably some vegans that aren't, but I'm speaking very generally. So around 4, 5, 6 months in, I started to develop some problems. And at first, it was okay. At first, I was okay. There was not really many issues. I honestly felt really good. Like I said, my body was healing. I started to feel almost high. Like I was feeling like really good. So that's why I attached to diet even more. I did a lot of meditation at the time, and I thought that my level of consciousness was getting deeper. But then I started to have these issues that I was kind of ignoring because I was so attached to the ideology. You see what I'm saying? I was so attached to the ideology of my diet being the best, and then everybody else is kind of lower than me. And this is all subconscious. You see what I'm saying? I thought that like, oh, these people just don't know any better, and that I was just subconsciously kind of attaching. And so I had all these issues, like digestive issues. I couldn't gain any muscle at the gym, like zero muscle at the gym. And like, because I was watching YouTubers, these vegan YouTubers with a ton of muscle saying like, oh yeah, my gains are even better on the vegan diet. And then the whole protein thing is a myth. And I was completely in that belief. I was like, oh, okay, so it's all, you don't need that much protein. And I really believed it so hard. But then I worked out religiously 3 days a week at the gym. And I literally could not, and it was like intense, high intensity, low volume workouts that are known to build muscle. It was like a structured program. And I could not gain any muscle at the gym. And it wasn't a calorie issue. I was eating a lot of calories. And another thing I wanted to say is that the more calories I would eat, because I thought it was a calorie issue, the more my digestion would be screwed. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, okay, eat more calories. Okay, so that's the problem. I eat more calories, and now I can't sleep at night because my stomach is fucking turning the whole night.
Did you
You know?
also take any protein powders, supplements, and any of that?
I mean, yeah, I had the smoothies, right, because you need to get the calories, and I was tossing in some protein powders in there just to try to get the extra gains. I didn't really like how they tasted, though. And I didn't really notice any benefit from those either. Like, no matter how much protein powders I added, I didn't really notice any gains. Like, I think I noticed a little bit of gains when I started veganism, probably because of the reserves that I had from the animal products. But then there was very quickly I peaked out at the gym and I couldn't gain any muscle. And it was very confusing because I was so indoctrinated from the videos. I was like, what's going on here? Why am I not gaining muscle, you know? I went from a 6-month, 100% disciplined, whole foods, plant-based vegan diet, no animal products. And then I completely switched over. The first night I had salmon. And then the second night, I just said, screw it, and I just got 2 fat steaks. I was like, whatever, let's just try. Because I needed to know. Because I watched your videos, and I was like, okay, I'm closing my mind right now. There's something that I'm missing. And I'm explaining it very nonchalant now. But at the time, it was not easy to restructure my beliefs. And I can feel empathy for vegans switching over. Even though they're literally delusional, I understand what that feels like because you're so attached that it's hard for you to switch. But I was like, no, that's just my ego. Let's try the animal product. So I had a steak. And the very first night that I had a steak, I literally had ridiculous, intense, lucid dreams. So that was interesting because my body was just like, I felt like, and I honestly felt a little bit high when I ate that steak. My head had this feeling, I have no idea how to explain it, but I started to just feel so calm. And it's just like there was this pressure in my head where I honestly felt like I smoked a little bit of weed in a way. Like I wasn't high. I was just like very calm, and I haven't had that calm feeling in months. Looking back as a vegan, I couldn't even stand up for myself in an argument. I was like subconsciously, I'm like, oh, I don't have enough energy for that. I'll just go home. He's just, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't even argue back to people. I couldn't even stand up for my beliefs. Another thing I didn't mention is my sex drive was completely nothing on the vegan diet. Completely nothing. And I was also abstaining from, I was doing no fap at the time. So I was like, oh, it's probably just no fap. Or, it's probably just no fap. Or, because I'm not watching porn or whatever, because I cut out that. I think that's really bad for you. But then right when I started eating animal products again, my hormones started to work a lot better, which correlated with my skin health as well. So like when the hormones started working properly, when I started having a sex drive, when my digestion started to get better, my skin got better too, and the eczema got better, and my acne got better too. When I introduced the animal products back into my diet, my vibration wasn't affected negatively at all. In fact, I feel like I have more life force in my body now because I introduced nutrition that my body needs. My meditations are even better. My state of consciousness, whatever you want to call it, I just feel good. I feel better as I eat the animal products. And I was just, because there's all these like monks that eat a vegan diet or whatever, and they say like, oh, like that's healthy. And it's like, bro, they're just desensitized to their biological needs. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to desensitize their egos. And the reason they eat a vegan diet is because they're trying to lower their fucking sex drive. And if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. But I want to have my sex drive.
Did you take B12 or any of those supplements?
Oh yeah, I took a ton of B12. I even remember at some point that I was, when I started to have energy issues, I was like, oh, it's probably the B12. So I ate more B12. And like, I still had energy issues. I even started to believe that whole mentality where like, oh, you need to get B12 from like the soil or whatever the hell. And that's where people got it. Like, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it wasn't working at all. And like you said, there's like over 10 to 15 nutrients that you can't get from the vegan diet. And people can't accept that. But even if we get rid of the nutrients that we have labeled, my experience shows me, and I value anecdotal experience because some people attach too much to science. Like you just eat it and you'll feel, because who knows how many nutrients that we haven't pinpointed yet that you need from those animal products. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things. And B12 is definitely one of them because my energy levels just came back. I started getting strength back at the gym. And so I did eat a lot of B12 and no results from that.
How do you see the future of veganism?
That's a very interesting question because right when I started to open up my mind about veganism, and then I saw you make that video about McDonald's going fully plant-based, it all started to click in my head. Well, the carbohydrates and the nutrition, and then I connected it to marketing. And I'm not trying to go into conspiracy theories here, but like literally all like it makes sense from a like I'm not going to even go into conspiracy theories where people have an intention to like kill people. Okay, like that's different. But if you look at it from a marketing perspective, it's way, way, way cheaper and easier to produce all these plant foods and just sell them and then label it as healthy and just oh, it's whole grains, it's healthy for you, and there's no science to back that up. But here's the marketing, and let's just believe it because that's what we've been told. And so I don't really want the future to go in this direction, but it seems like it's getting popular, and it's getting people are believing that it is healthy when it is actually lowering their level of health. And I think more people are also going to wake up to the fact that these animal products are necessary because humans will have to realize that eventually. We are so smart, but we haven't figured out diet, and it's just right in front of us. And I think there's always going to be a switch. I don't think it's going to be really popular because there's as more vegans are leaving, more are coming in, but then they're leaving again and more are coming in. So I don't think it's going to get super popular, but there's still always going to be a push of like people trying to market it. But like I think our biology will override that eventually because we can't be completely oblivious to like even if somebody stays vegan for 5-10 years, they'll realize that their health is going to shit eventually. And so there's no possible way for veganism to get on a mass scale in terms of like they can market it as much as they want, but the smart people will realize that they're losing their health from fully plant-based products.
Were you also into the ethics? Did you believe that killing animals is wrong, or was it mostly about the health?
Oh yeah, I actually didn't mention that. When I started, it was just for health reasons. But then because of all the propaganda, I actually started to develop compassion for the animals too. And then I connected my spiritual beliefs to that too. I'm like, oh, we're all one. So why would you consume animals? Because you're consuming yourself and all this. And I did develop a little bit of ethical beliefs. And but I started to slowly realize that that was my ego being disconnected from death. You see what I'm saying? Because as a society, we're very disconnected from our natural instincts. And we like to be all happy and healthy. And it's like, oh, how vegan? You ever notice how the vegans are always so like happy and healthy and like, oh, everything's good. And it's like, no, you're actually stressed and you're running away from the reality that's in front of you. And so I did develop those beliefs at some point because in your mind, you connect the health with the ethics and it builds your ego even more. So you're like, oh, I'm being healthy and I'm saving the animals. It's a win-win. Like it's all good now. I'm just winning. I'm winning in life and everyone else is losing. And that's the mentality that you get into when you start connecting everything. I was connecting my spiritual beliefs, my ethical beliefs, my health beliefs that were false. And you see how this ego construct starts to come together in this way. Listen, if it was up to me, if I could thrive on my health as a vegan, I would. You see what I'm saying? I didn't want to believe that I needed those animal products, but now I'm realizing it's just stupid because you need to have those products in your life to thrive. And my ethics, I have to just if I need these animal products to thrive, I need to let go of those ethical beliefs, in my opinion, because I have priorities where my health goes above my ethics. And I hate to say that, some vegans will disagree, but my health goes above my beliefs. You see, my beliefs are just a thought, and my physical health has a priority over a belief that I hold. So that's where my ethics are right now. And if you want to do it for ethical reasons and you prioritize ethics over health, then by all means, go ahead. But I value my health.
Very well said. Thank you.
No worries, man.